things happen, right? Oh man, the mover scratched this, or this happened over here, or whatever it is. I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen, but accidents happen, and now you get an opportunity, maybe to share a resource, or to actually solve a problem for somebody, or just to continue celebrating with them, right? And so I think, Garrett, those first 30 days, you want to have multiple touch points with them.
Welcome back to 10 Tenths, where we coach agents out of burnout into high-performing businesses that fuel their life. We are excited to be back with you again today. If you haven't checked us out on social media platforms, if you haven't checked out our app, you can go download that. And if you haven't gone to YouTube yet and subscribed there and liked the episodes, that ones that really got your attention, that would help us out tremendously. We would appreciate it more than you know. And I've got my wonderful counterpart here, Matt Bonelli. Sir, good morning.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. How are you today, Garrett?
I'm doing wonderful, man. I know we record just a little bit ahead here, and I get to go on a journey here coming up tomorrow to go bring my daughter back from college, have an adventure, and I'm lit up and excited over it because, I don't know, adventures with your kids, especially as they get older, it's just awesome. I'm loving them becoming adults so much. Love them as kids. We had tremendous times, fun times, but something about them being adults has just been great.
That's so cool, man. I'm excited for you on that. I was really excited when you and Sarah were celebrating graduation and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, these are the things that you can turn into really awesome memories that last a long time. And so excited.
I think I'm getting to a place that I'm looking at those memories and going, okay, if we can capture that stuff and have it be the things that they take with them as they turn into adults and they see how we kind of were in their world and how we showed up. I just want them to have all the feel to be like, that's how I'm going to show up for my kids. Like, that's how I'm going to be around them. Yeah. So hopefully setting the stage for good parenting in the future.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to use this opportunity to kind of share. This will be a good bridge to what we're going to talk about, because what you're doing in driving from Texas to California is a novel experience, right? I mean, you did it the other way, 4 years ago.
We took a different route. We're taking a totally different route, but yes, keep going.
Which is so cool. And this week's Monday Motivation that I posted in the community, which if you guys join our inside track, we have stuff that goes in there every day, including Garrett and I alternate on a Monday mindset post, not Monday motivation. Could be motivational. But this week I was talking about doing new things and the benefit of doing new things for your mindset, and also how it helps you show up, because I learned how to surf a few weeks ago, and it was super cool on these little tiny 1 foot waves, which was amazing. But I dug into some research on how do doing new things actually help you perform and show up in other ways. And the research is actually pretty incredible in terms of how it helps with your cognitive function, your creativity, your relationships, your energy, all of these things. And so often do we get stuck in, Garrett, a routine, or we find an easy way out instead of saying, hey, how do I make this a little bit more challenging, which creates that novelty, which will have a lasting impact, not only because a memory is made, but also because it's going to help me grow mentally, physically, whatever it is. And this gets into, well, how do we create these novel experiences for other people too? Because when you do things with people together as well, it doubles the impact on that. And so you doing this with your daughter creates a bigger memory than if each of you did it alone. Let's say.
I just road tripping by myself, capturing moments, selfies along the way. Look at me.
Done it.
No.
Hey, and people have done it, right? I mean, and it can work, right? But when you do it with somebody,
shared memories. Shared memories, shared experiences. It's like coming back from Japan with Jocelyn. Like, it's one thing for me to go to Japan. It's another thing for Jocelyn and I, months from now, to sit and laugh about what that journey was. Us sitting in a hospital in Japan, which you can, if anybody wants to know about that, give me a call. I got to go go experience the hospital there, but we both did. But it's an interesting thing is like, we get a chance to laugh about that. We get a chance to laugh about her leaving her purse and her passport and her driver's license in a taxi cab in Japan and having it drive away. We had some crazy experiences on this trip. And again, sharing that journey just turns it into a totally different thing.
It does. And so how do we, this transition to what we want to talk about today is like, what is the importance and how do we create this experience for our clients? And one of the biggest missed opportunities I see, Garrett, for a lot of realtors is paying attention and showing up in a systematic way for you so that it's repeatable, but in a novel way for your clients that first year after they move into the new house. Right. Yep. It's not very difficult to show up for that first year. There's so many reasons, but as realtors, we get busy. We kind of maybe don't set out a plan. And so we feel a little awkward if we maybe call out of the blue or whatever. But if you have a plan in place to help you stay in communication with these people and show up for them as their real estate advisor in this first year, you're going to create a wonderful experience for them. It's going to, I would hope, wow them. And it's going to solidify in their memory, man, Garrett's really taking care of me here and like making some joy happen in our world with this home. What a great realtor, which leads to referrals, right? I mean, you don't do it for the referrals, but that's what happens on the backside of this.
But so often we misunderstand that we've just gone through an adventure with these people in a very high stress, very emotional, very exciting time of this home that they're now going to turn into major memories for the future. And we get so fast into deal done, closed, got that off the books. Now I'm going to head over here. I'm going to spend more time trying to cultivate more opportunities and more business. And we misunderstand the power of what these people are right now, who they are, and the ability of them being able to go out there going, oh my gosh, we just used Matt Benelli for our home purchase, and here's how he showed up. Here's all the stuff he did. Like, if you do it right, you can keep that energy going. You can keep it high coming out of this, moving into this brand new home. And now all of a sudden we start showing up in their world. And it wasn't just an adventure we went on and we're like, so long, guys, been fun hanging out, but I got better things to go do. You're still involved with this journey that they're on and what they've now, started here. And if you can keep that energy going, Matt, like it will generate, as you said, referrals, future business. And yes, you want to be careful that you're not just doing this going, okay, I'm going to call today and hopefully there's a referral in here this time that I call. If not, it'll probably be next time, and which will be in about a month. I'll give another phone call. Maybe the referral will be there. If you just take that all off the plate and I'm just going to give you the okay that yes, the referrals are there. Let's just we'll just keep that clear. The referrals are there. Let them happen naturally. Care about these people and celebrate their journey that they're on. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Well, I don't fault agents, for not having this stuff set up because the industry is really, really great at training people to identify potential buyers and sellers, right? And that's a good thing. Okay. And we do it. We help people look at relationships, identify life change, pay more attention to those people because they are more likely to make a real estate change than someone who doesn't have a big life change. Even if you go into the whole cold calling world, right? Hey, let's target for sale by owners. Let's target expired listings. Those are probably sellers who want to sell their house, of course, right? So we get really, really good at those things. But we miss the opportunity to take care of people, create experiences that are remarkable, because if you have more people who are out there looking for those potential buyers and sellers for you because they just want to share this amazing experience that they had, you don't need to do as much of that work on the front end, right? I mean, most restaurants rely on providing a great experience that keeps people coming back and has people talking about them. I mean, the best restaurants that I know, they don't do any marketing because they don't need to. The restaurant's always full because people talk about it. Now, granted, it is the type of business that is designed to create remarkability. I mean, if the food's fantastic, I'm going to talk about it with other people, right? But we can do that with our real estate business too by just paying attention to people, even if you're just like, I'm going to create the best system for just that 1 year following that closing. And that's going to create these lifelong relationships that just continually show up in my world year after year.
We've talked about this in the past, Matt. And since you brought up restaurants, we're going to go back real quick to Hall's Steakhouse because there's two stories I tell about Hall's Steakhouse every single time that I talk about that restaurant. One is the handwritten note that I received after being at the restaurant and coming home from the server. That was pretty awesome. I've never received a handwritten note from anybody. And people go like, well, how in the world did they get your address? Well, you fill out a comment card. If you fill out the comment card, they will make sure they send you a handwritten note to say thank you. So I thought that was really neat.
And I want to pause on that one for a second because it's really interesting. People say, well, why would you write down your address on a comment card? Because how many times do you go to a restaurant where it asks for your address? The curiosity is just opened up. You're like, why do they want my address? I'm now fascinated by this, right? Go on.
And I filled it out. Like, I mean, I had an amazing experience. And so I wanted to give them some feedback. And it's a paper card in with your bill. While you're filling the bill out, you're like, huh, check, check, check. This was awesome. This was great. And sure, I gave them my address. Is everybody going to do it? No. But if you do, you get a handwritten note. So there's that piece of it. The other part of it, Matt, and I forget the cost of it as of right now, but they had Wagyu on the menu. I know that I said, what is the minimum amount of Wagyu that I can order? And my whole goal was there's a table of 4 of us, and I wanted enough that we could pass it around and all take a bite of it. And we all got 1 bite of this Wagyu. I think it ended up being like $70.
Yeah,
or something
it was like
that.
$30 to $35 an ounce for sure.
Yeah. The actual portion of steak they came, which allowed us all to have 1 bite, was in the 70 some odd dollar range. It was incredible. We all sat there, and I remember the waiter, when he dropped it off at the table, said, this is going to ruin all of your steaks for the evening, because he brought it out first. And we were like, really? Come on. And like that 1 bite, nothing compared to it after that. It was brilliant. But those stories and those things that you can tell and creating that experience that people want to talk about, how do we, and this is bringing this back to real estate, how do we take this incredible event that just happened? Real estate is very different than a restaurant. The follow-up that we have to be able to do, if we choose to do it, is way greater. We know where they live. We've got all kinds of information on them. We've got their personal phone numbers, email addresses. Like, we're not having to go and find this stuff. It was given to us during this transaction. Now, how can we celebrate with them over the next 12 months? And that's what Matt and I are going to talk about a little bit here today. And we actually have some opportunities for you to come and check out through us if you choose to do it in the show notes. But Matt, let's talk about how can we take care of these people? Because the opportunity is incredible. There's so many chances to keep that energy going.
Yeah. And you can do this in a variety of ways. And I'll say we took some great touch points that we've accumulated over the years of working with people and kind of combined it all into like, okay, where is there some overlap? How do we choose one of these things? And we put it into like, okay, here is a post-closing program that you can run right now. So you can go to 10tenths.co/post-closing or click the link in the show notes to find exactly that. There's no input. You don't have to put in your email or anything. It just literally will show you all of the steps right there.
Social security number. I think it asks for. No, maybe not.
That might be the one thing that we need for it for sure. So you just plug it in there.
There's nothing.
Just as stealsocial.com. No.
You're all good.
10tenths.co/post-closing. But we kind of broke it down into 4 phases. We're not going to go through. This isn't like, hey, we're going to walk you through step by step. But there are a few phases where you can think about, hey, what's happening with a new homeowner over the life of this? Because a lot of people will say, well, I'll just call them every month for the next 12 months. And it's, well, okay, that can work, but we probably want to compress more touch points in those first 30 days, right? And this is where you get to really show up as their realtor to prove that, hey, just because I got the commission check doesn't mean that I'm gone for your world. And these are touch points where we can say, hey, how's the house treating you? Anything wrong? How'd the move go? What else do you need, right? How are you fitting in with the neighborhood? Like really diving in and connecting with them about the house and showing up as the realtor. I mean, gosh, Garrett, you even say that if people will say, I don't want to do it. What if something's wrong? What an amazing opportunity to add some value. Just because something broke in the house, it's not your fault, but you have an opportunity now to fix it.
I was thinking about this, Matt, as like checking into a hotel. Like there's a lot of times we check into the hotel and it is like, you got your room, you got your keys. Hey, you guys enjoy your stay. And I'll never forget staying at the Four Seasons in Vail. And we came in, it was like hours after we checked in. And I bumped into one of the gentlemen and they came up to me and they said, Mr. Fry, we just want to check and make sure is your room exactly the way you were expecting it. And it's one of those like, One, how'd you know my name? Like, that was very well done. And second is like, they know me and they're consistently, and they checked in all throughout the time. I'd walk in, how was your experience? You know, what did you guys do in Vail today? And just constantly circling back around. And again, you look at this as like, how can we just continue that energy going in a real estate transaction? Again, in a hotel, it's usually done at the time of check-in and then it's over from there. In a real estate transaction, we got all these touch points. My favorite one, Matt, is, and I know we're not going to go through all of them, but my favorite one, I got two that are probably my favorite, but is the day after closing. Like the day after closing, just to be, you're still in the groove. You're still moving. You just did closing. You just sat there and signed all the paperwork. And now they're like, we're just going to let them simmer for a little bit. Let's give them a couple weeks and then we'll check in back on them and see how they're doing. No, right away. How are you doing? How is the house? Was it the way that you expected? You know, this opportunity to come in while everything is very fresh and very new and very exciting. Engage with that energy, connect with that energy, and then, you know, be a hero if you can. If there's something that you need to do, it's awesome.
Yeah, because things happen, right? Oh man, you know, the mover scratched this, or this happened over here, or whatever it is. I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen, but accidents happen. And now you get an opportunity, you know, maybe to share a resource or to actually solve a problem for somebody, or just to continue celebrating with them, right? And so I think, Garrett, those first 30 days, you want to have multiple touch points with them, where you're really just checking on all this stuff. Like, are you settled? How are things working with this? Is the lifestyle what you really wanted it to be? And how is the office coming together? Whatever it is, right? You just show up as the realtor. You compact a few touches there. You're over exceeding expectations. The key here though is you don't want to be intrusive. Sometimes they're like, hey, I'm going to show up on moving day and just like kind of hang out and like, okay, we got to think about the logistics of moving day. Like, how do you want to show up to help make it productive versus, so just mind how you're doing it. Think ahead of like, what would you want if you were moving into a new house, and then provide that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny is like, I've seen people do the moving like day, like here's your moving day kits. Like, you're now in the house. Here's some snacks. Here's some drinks. Here's a cooler, dropping that stuff off. I've seen people show up with pizzas. Those are great things to drop off. I will say, if you're going to do it, let them know. Like, I've got lunch taken care of. I've got snacks taken care of. Because the worst thing is when they've got a whole platter full of food there and you show up with pizzas and all this stuff. You're like, hey guys, and it's like, what do we do with this? We can give it to the neighbors. Like, it's like, great idea, poorly executed though. And I think there's these opportunities, and it's not about you sitting down and cracking a beer with them and stopping forward momentum and being like, let's all eat pizza right now because I just showed up.
Yeah, hey, let's stop everything, guys. And they're like, oh, I'm going to pay these movers by the hour. Like,
it is a drop stuff off. You guys, I know there's a lot going on today. Wanted to make sure you didn't have to worry about this stuff, and go. And again, you get to continue in this energy and just be a resource, not a hindrance.
Yeah.
And realtors in general, salespeople in general, love talking. We love communicating. We love being part of something that's going on. And that's that fine line there of like, am I helping or am I actually a distraction to what's kind of going on here? I know I can do it, so I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I mean, these are the nuanced things that add the more, like, you could try something and be like, ooh, that didn't work the way that I thought. Great, fix it for the next one. And this is the beauty of staying in communication with somebody beyond any single moment, because even if you stop forward progress on the move, it's like, hey, you have another chance to add value in another week or 2 weeks, depending on how you schedule up this plan, right? Which kind of brings us to like, okay, after that first month, we're probably going to start to spread things out a little bit. But I think when you're going for the next several months, Garrett, in this phase 2, you really want to focus on the lifestyle stuff here. Is like, hey, is the lifestyle that they dreamed of working? Because this house is now the anchor for the next who knows how long for everything that goes with their life, how they work, how they play, how they parent, right? From commuting to work from homes to the backyard barbecues that they're going to have, to what's it like just having access where you can walk right down to a favorite restaurant. Checking in, touching base, providing value related to lifestyle that is there, or even, Garrett, lifestyle that they may miss from where they moved from as well, kind of connecting those dots.
Well, it's kind of like somebody could move into my house right here, and all of a sudden, you give a phone call and be like, "Have you guys had a chance to check out the trail system behind the house yet?" Just having that moment of like, well, we've kind of been in our house. Like for the first 3 months here, we've just been kind of enjoying this. We've been unpacking. We've been doing all this stuff. We haven't gone for a walk yet back there. We haven't gone and seen that stuff. If you guys get a chance, you should totally go and check it out. You guys have an amazing trail system out behind your house. Make sure the kids get out there. They can ride their bikes on it. They can be a part of all that. Love to know how that is for you if you guys get a chance to go see it. That might be the extent of the phone call. And with the client, the person who is now owning this home, they just got this nice little connection from you. All you were doing was thinking about them. All you were doing was trying to bring more value into their world. And then you're like, all right, I hope everything's great. I'll talk to you soon. And you're gone. And those are really powerful, short phone calls that we have the opportunities around all. Have you made it over the lake yet? Have you made it to meet all the neighbors yet? Have you had a chance to go and do this? And again, it's just an opportunity for a nice touch and nice connection that just keeps the energy going. I'm going to keep saying it. Just keeps the energy going from what you've just experienced. And Matt, you made a comment that I want to come back to also, which is, when you're working with a buyer, working with a seller, I don't care. There's basically 3 stages that you're in. You have the gathering information stage, the moment they say, we're thinking about buying. And we're going to pour into that. And it's really important we take a lot of time here. People will skip this step. They kind of shortcut it. They jump right into go showing homes. It happens all the time. But we want to spend a lot of time in that. And then we're going to have the second zone that we go into, which is this actually the process of going, let's start looking at houses to the actual closing of that house. And what most people don't understand is there's another stage. There's one more stage that goes all the way until they buy their next house. So again, you've got the first stage, the second stage, and then this really long, but I think it's actually the most powerful for building a relationship referral-based business is this third stage. And we jump out of it way too fast, Matt.
Yeah, we do. And this first year sets the tone for that. And I think one of my favorite touch points that I think is missed a lot post-closing is, maybe once you cross over those 6 months they've been there, because this will also help you set your own mindset on how you approach understanding your people. But we know that our clients bought this house for a reason, or maybe they sold this house. I mean, this specific workflow works probably better with buyers because they're there in your community. We know there was a reason why they bought the home. We should call them and ask them if that reason is now fulfilled or if it's working the way that they expected. Like, oh, you bought this home because you wanted to be in the school district. How are your kids enjoying the school, right? That's the whole reason. If that's the core, let's check up on that, because that now becomes like, great. If that continues to be fulfilled in a good way, they're likely going to be staying in that home or that location if it's that specifically. How's the commute to the new job, right? Or you guys bought this home because you were looking for that trail access, right? Mm-hmm. How are the trails? Like, which trails are your favorite? Checking in on those things helps draw them also back to you remembered, right? It shows that you actually value what is important to them. And I think that's one of if you don't do any other touch points, at least do that one to figure out, okay, how is that working out for them? Because if it's not, that's going to cue up, okay, this is something we should probably pay attention to, or can I help aid in making it work for them? Or, hey, you know what? And in 2 years, we might be looking for another house again.
Well, and what's crazy, Matt, so okay, think of the amount of times we don't make the phone call right after the day of closing because what if something's wrong? So let's just hopefully that'll just go away. Then what you just talked about, how is the house working out for you in the way that you expected it? Like, I know that one of your big things was to be in that school district, to have your kids start in that school. How is that working? Is it fulfilling what you guys have set out for? Maybe it was a commute. Maybe it was getting, I was specifically thinking about some good friends of mine in Denver. And years ago, they had a huge house in Denver and they downsized as their kids were all off in college and graduated and moving along. And I remember they were so excited when they were downsizing. They were so excited to have the smaller house. They didn't have to worry about it. It was brand new compared to an older style house that they were moving out of. Very grand, older style house, by the way. Beautiful home. But they're like, this is so nice. It's all new. It's small. We have a little backyard. We don't have to worry about anything. If I was to have called them as their realtor, let's just go a year. It took about 9 months after they had bought it. They were not loving it. It was not what they all of a sudden were missing, having the older style stuff. They were missing having the bigger house. They were missing some of these things. They're like, don't get us wrong. We don't hate it, but it's like, I don't know if we should have downsized this far. And that can bring up some really interesting conversations. And it's not that you did anything wrong. We fulfilled exactly what they were looking for in that moment. And they've been great for months. But all of a sudden, they're realizing there's things that they miss and there's things that are still important to them. And that being in that world allows us to go back and go, how badly do you miss it? Like is it important enough to make another move again to get back into that environment? Is there a way we can change this environment so that it actually fulfills what you're thinking about right now? What is it? And you get to have a great conversation with them. And, but I think a lot of us, Matt, are afraid to open that door up because what if they don't like it anymore? What if the school wasn't what they thought it was going to be and they have a miserable teacher and their kids don't want to go to school right now? Like, what happens? Like if that happens, and it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Life.
I mean, this is why you had the relationship in the first place to go through this journey. They didn't like the old school district before. They didn't want all the big space before. So you showed up, helped them. This isn't a you problem. This is a they problem. And you're there now to help them.
Is that how you say it, Matt? This isn't a me problem. This is a you problem.
Yeah. It's like when you isn't that what you say when you break up with people? It's not me, it's you.
It's not me,
right?
It's you.
I don't mean it.
Sorry.
And so you don't tell them it in that way, right? But the good news with that is, great. There's a problem. Let's see if we can help them solve it, right? I mean, we want to know because we want to be there to support them. Or maybe it's just kind of a frustration they're dealing with right now, and just kind of, there's a lot of sentimental stuff that happens with homes, right? And moving. Yeah. And having the opportunity to have those conversations, and this is the other side of realtors could say, well, gosh, I don't want to get stuck in all those long conversations and everything. Yes, you do. Sometimes you do. That's what showing up for your people looks like. And coming back to what we were talking about in the beginning about all the training being focused on how do you find the new people, which I'm not saying we should stop doing that, but understanding the value in being here and being present for these people as it relates to their real estate will build tremendous opportunity for you down the road because you're actually the person that slowed down for a minute to listen to them and to show up. Even now it's over 6 months, a year, whatever, since they bought that house with you and you got paid.
You've all heard that the most expensive thing for a company is acquiring a new lead, a new opportunity, a new person to work with. And I think this is where you need to go back to of like, we don't want to get in the habit of having to go find new people all the time. And so as this business is growing, as you're building it, the thought process needs to be is, I don't want to see how many new relationships I have to create, how many new working relationships I have to create. I actually want to figure out is once I create that one, how do I make that last as long as it possibly can? Maybe it's 20 years. I want to make sure I can last that and have that relationship last for. It should be a mindset of you instead of this, I got to go find the next one. No. We've spent time, we've earned their trust, we showed them that we know what we're doing, and now let's use that energy and perpetuate as long as it possibly can. And there's nothing better, Matt, than somebody that has experienced your service when they bump into one of their friends and they go, oh, Matt helped me buy my house. Trust him. He's awesome. He'll take great care of you. That person that is now coming in is way less work than the pay-per-click lead that is going, yeah, we want to buy a house and show me what you got. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to help us with this? It's a little bit harsh, but I know I've recently have heard some really interesting conversations that people have had trying to acquire new business that way when we've done the work. We've started it already. Like, let's keep it going.
Well, you brought up the money side of this too. And there's a reason why cost of acquisition of per customer exists as a metric, right? And when you deploy something like this, if you're getting a referral in that first year, your cost of acquisition is basically zero at this point. Yes, there's your time that you put into it, but you haven't spent any money on trying to market and buy things. Okay, you've done some nice things for these people and you can include that in that cost. But like, gosh, man, it reduces. And I've seen this with, I've studied a few agents of mine who had the lead business and the sphere business. Cost to acquire a customer through their sphere, outrageously less, a fraction of the lead business. Now, yes, no time really put into the lead business, lots of time put in over here. Always depends on the size of your business, but usually for most of you who are listening, your scale is at the point where you can have a very, very low cost, spend a little bit more time and see wonderful results, which kind of brings us to like, okay, how do we keep this going, Garrett? So we cross over and we're getting close to this year. And this is where you got to start setting up this whole trusted advisor for life thing by being like, hey, it's time for your annual report, right? You're doing maybe some home maintenance things with them, reminding them some stuff, but you're also going to show up with this awesome report that shows them what happened in the market over the past year and how their home value might be trending based on that information. And now you're setting it up where that's going to happen every single year thereafter, which is this whole phase 3 that you were saying, Garrett, which goes from the time they close on that house to until they start this process again with you and go back to phase 1.
Yeah, and again, you've got this golden first 12 months where we have lots of stuff to connect over, lots of stuff to talk about, and then Matt, as you're saying, it'll transition really into about an every 6 month, pretty set 6 month call. Like you have a 6 month just checking in, how are things are going, and then you have the next 6 months, which is it's time for your market impact report. I got everything already put together. When would you like to get together? Or I can just drop it over and send it over to you, whatever's easiest. You have this moment now that you've set this stage for these relationships moving forward. And the beauty is if you like the people and you connect with them, that's up to you. If you're like, you know what, I'm going to circle back around maybe a little bit more often because I want to hear about their camping trips that they're going to be doing this summer. I want to hear about how sports are going for their kids. I want to hear about how whatever's happening because you care. Oh my gosh. Add in more phone calls wherever care shows up. But the rest of it is just like, you know what? All my closings. Everybody right now who's listening to this, think about if you had done this with every single closing you've had so far and you had this plan built, you did it really well for the first 12 months. And now every single person that you've ever sold a home to, now you are in this pattern of every 6 months. Showing up and making a phone call, connecting with them. How are things going? How have you been? What's going on? And then one where you do a market impact report. I mean, one, what would your business potentially look like? And then if you're going, damn it, I missed the boat. Oh, shame on me. I'll never have. Yes, you can. Start now. Like look back at the closings you've had in the last 6 months and go, all right, let's start building off of that, get this thing going. And you all of a sudden can get the ball rolling in that. It's so powerful for your business. I know you will enjoy it. I promise that. I know you will enjoy it.
Yeah, you can start right now. And even for the people that closed 2 years ago, you can start the annual report right now. Like, nothing is lost. There is everything to gain. The beauty of this is there's no expectation of you to do these things. That's also the downside because it's hard for people to follow through because the expectation isn't there. So whatever you do is going to exceed the expectations of the homeowner.
So think about it. All the things that if you were to go to a Ritz-Carlton or a Four Seasons or anything like that, Matt, and all the stuff that you'd be like, whoa. You know why you say whoa is because it wasn't expected. It was not an expectation that was set, but they chose to go there to create an experience that makes you talk about them, that makes you share it with other people. We have this in our business, and in real estate, there's so many things that we just need to look a little bit outside the lines, and that's where the wows, that's where the woes are created. And if we just do what everybody else is doing, you wonder why we struggle with, when it comes down to collecting certain fees and doing certain stuff and collecting referrals and having people be able to spread our name. You wonder why we run into problems with that. Well, a lot of times we haven't just crossed just outside what normal is and done something a little bit outside the box. And everything that we've talked about on this call today, Matt, is actually outside the box, which is crazy.
It is crazy. And the beauty is you can put it into a system, which makes it a lot easier to execute. Because the reason why most agents are burning out in their business is because they're doing all of these different things that aren't aligned with who they are and where they want to go. And then ultimately their business just consumes their life. And we want you to help build a business that actually fuels your life instead of consuming it. And so go to 10tense.co/post-closing and look at that example post-closing process and just take it as is if you want and integrate it into your business, or think of one that might work for you. And if you want to go a step further, you can click the button at the bottom of that page and get our free engagement engine webinar, or you can come check out our website, join us for our 11th circle, our inside track, or anything else that we have for you. Our goal is to help you guys thrive. We want you to have a life that you love and a business that drives it. So that's what we're all about. And we hope that you guys got some of that value out of today's podcast. And if you did, share it with somebody who might like it, because that's how this grows and expands, is by you guys sharing it out. And we appreciate all of you who already do that for us. And we love you guys. Even the ones of you guys who aren't sharing it yet, we love you too. And we really appreciate you guys listening, right? So it's again, it's not me, it's you, right?
Even though those of you that have not hit the like button, we still really like you too. Like, all right, guys, we appreciate you tons. Thanks for tuning in as always. Hopefully you got to laugh with us a little bit today. Matt and I, we had a whole bunch of episodes that we were kicking around beforehand, and we were laughing so hard, realizing that we can't get through those. We need to do one that we were able to get through, but we still haven't turned it off fully yet. So I hope you appreciated it. Have an amazing day. Matt, you too have a great day.
You too, my friend. Take care, guys.